to the Unleash Success Podcast, where we break down the secrets of success to give you real tools and strategies that get real results. And now, here's your host, Corey Corpodian.
Welcome back to Unleash Success. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter yet, just go to unleashsuccess.com, enter your email so you can get all the tools and strategies sent directly to you each and every week. In today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about gratitude. It's the week of Thanksgiving here in the United States, and I know some of you guys listen internationally and might not celebrate, but I want to share with you some of the keys and strategies about gratitude that have really helped transform my life. When I was a kid, going around the table saying what I was grateful for didn't really make a whole lot of sense. I didn't really understand the power of gratitude. And so today's episode, I want to go over 3 things with you. 1, why gratitude is so important. 2, how gratitude transformed my life to live a happier, healthier, more fulfilled, purpose-driven life. And 3, how to effectively practice gratitude. What are some strategies, some tools? And we'll go over those. One of them is just to write down 3 things you're grateful for. And that's super, super easy. And yet, when was the last time you did it? Unless you have a daily practice set in, my guess is it's probably been a while since you've written something you were grateful for. And so just on the spirit of practicing gratitude, I want to say right here, right now, I am incredibly grateful for each and every one of you listening to this podcast. Whether you've been listening since episode 1 released back in 2017, or you just started listening a few episodes ago, this means the world to me. I started the podcast because I wanted to be able to share the secrets of success with you guys. And the fact that you're taking these secrets, you're taking these strategies, you're implementing in your life, and then you're sending me messages. Man, I can't tell you how much that motivates me to keep going with the podcast. And you're sharing it with your friends, your family, all that stuff is awesome. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to hear those success stories. So I just really, really appreciate you for listening. You are the reason this podcast exists, and you inspire me. So let's get right down into why gratitude is so important. If you go through life and all you do is worry and focus about achieving a goal, and then when the minute you achieve the goal, you go on to the next goal, and you never stop to smell the roses, what kind of life are you truly living? If you go through life and you're always worried about what's going to happen, what's going to go wrong, if you're always afraid of getting outside your comfort zone, that you never try anything new, what kind of life are you truly living? And so practicing gratitude allows us to appreciate what we have, where we've come from, but it also allows us to appreciate the fact that we have the opportunity to be grateful for the opportunity to learn, to be grateful for the opportunity to go out and try things, to be grateful to fail. I know that sounds weird, but yes, be grateful to fail. Because if you fail, you learn something. And if you fail and learn something, that means you get better. And I really believe that we all want to get better at something, whether it's business, whether it's relationships, whether you want to be a better mother or father, whether you want to be a better, salesperson, entrepreneur, whether you want to get fit and healthy, whether you want to travel the world, you want to get better at something. And so I encourage you to set goals. I encourage you to ask for more out of yourself. But while you're asking for more, don't ignore the fact of everything you've already accomplished. Focus on your wins. Focus on what you did right. Be grateful that you did that. I feel like I've shared this before, and my girlfriend laughs at me sometimes. I really do this sometimes where I do something good, no one else notices, and I'm like, you know what? Good job, Corey. I literally say that out loud to myself, or I pat myself on the back. I know it sounds really stupid and silly, and it probably looks ridiculous, but the reason I do that is to reinforce something when I've done a good job, to positively reinforce it. Because I'm grateful that happened. I'm grateful that I responded in a positive way. And I just want to make sure that I remind myself to do it more. Now, you can try that. I don't know. It's stupid. It's silly. But hey, it works. Now, one of the biggest things about gratitude is how it's transformed my life. I grew up not
sure, I was grateful. If I ever thought about it, I was definitely grateful. But there was a period of my life for about 10 years where I just really wasn't very grateful. I was so focused on me. It was the time where I was really depressed, and I wasn't grateful for the opportunities that I've been given. I wasn't grateful for how far I had come in life. I felt like the world was against me. I felt like I could never win. I felt like life was fucked up. I felt like there was no point in doing all this. And if I had just stopped, and instead of saying those negative things in my mind on a daily basis, if I had stopped and just started some daily habits of gratitude, it would have changed my life completely. In fact, that's what ended up happening. I realized that all the pain, all the suffering, all the bad things, all the failures, all the negative things, they were all leading me up to something better. And so while going through the shit of the storm, while going through the worst times of our life might not feel like the most amazing thing in the world, it can actually be your greatest strength. And I truly, truly believe that. And while I don't want anybody to ever experience the pain, I personally am grateful that I had painful moments in life, because I can look back now and realize that they prepared me, that they put me into a place where I had to change, that they gave me this gift that I'm now able to teach other people, that they allowed me to change my life. And so that pain, I'm grateful for. And I can look back on those tougher times and say, yeah, I'm grateful I went through that. I'm grateful that I wasn't just given something or handed something, but I had to earn it, because I earned it and no one can take that away from me. And I'm proud of that. That's a point of pride for me. I'm sure you've experienced something like that in your own life. And so what ended up happening is that I got out of residency, actually, and I was going through this huge transformation. I accomplished a lot. I, changed my entire life, made more money than I ever made, got an amazing house, an amazing girlfriend, and I was super, super grateful. But then I got comfortable again. And I'm not saying that being comfortable is a bad thing, but sometimes if you're like me, you might want more out of life. And I was stuck, and my sister, God bless her, she always asked me such incredible questions. This one's super simple, but she hit me with it. She says, Corey, when will enough ever be enough? And I was like, wow, after everything I've accomplished, why do I still want more? And then I thought to myself, you know what? I'm grateful that I want more. I believe that as human beings, we have this incredible ability to do more with our lives, that if you're not growing, you're dying. And so I was like, you know what? Me wanting to do more, and it's not always for me, but me wanting to give more in my relationship, me wanting to accomplish more in business so that I can create things that help people on a bigger, deeper scale. I mean, that's why I created the podcast, was to influence people on a bigger scale at a deeper level. And so to be able to do all this stuff, I had to change what I was doing. And I was like, wow, why do I always want more? And I realized that's kind of just the way I am. It has to do with the way I was raised, but I'm hungry. I'm hungry to accomplish more. I'm hungry to impact the world, to change things, to make the world a better place. And so for me, I realized, wanting more wasn't a negative thing. In fact, I'm grateful that I want more, because that drive, that hunger has driven me to accomplish amazing things. It's driven me to live a life that inspires other people to do more amazing things. I can't tell you, when a friend sends me a message and says, thanks for that podcast, I really appreciate that habit of success, that really spoke to me, and I'm going to actually start using it. And it's changing their life. And I'm thinking, wow, like if I didn't want more out of my own life, if I didn't try harder and do something, that never would have happened. So I'm grateful for that drive. And being grateful for what I have while still wanting more is this thing that I've struggled with. I was like, are those things, can you have both at the same time? And sometimes as human beings, we look at something and go, you can either be one, but you can't be the other. And I don't think that's the case. I think, in fact, you can be both at the exact same time. And that's kind of this dichotomy of life. It's the two sides of the coin. It's the yin and yang. And when you look at that and you appreciate that and go, you know what? I can look at something and say, hey, I want to improve this area of my life. I'm not ungrateful. I just want to improve it. But I can also be grateful for everything I have and still want to improve it. Well, it's a little bit confusing, but when you find that, and for me, that was when my cousin passed because he was 41 years old on the treadmill. And I was like, wow, here I am worried about a fitness competition or a business deal that I was doing or, getting this podcast. And I'm like, man, I'm just lucky to be alive. And I've talked to several people on this podcast. Jonathan Stone, episode 7. Ryan Hudson Peralta, was born with no hands. And these guys have gone through extraordinary life challenges and still they find the good and still they find a way. And so I thought, you know what? As long as I'm breathing, I can be grateful for everything I have. As long as I'm alive and have the opportunity to learn, to grow, to do better, I can be grateful. And so being this grateful, living in a state of gratitude has transformed my life. If my goals don't happen right now, I'm still working my ass off on them. Don't get that twisted. But at the same time, I understand that in the long scheme, in the grand scheme of things, and how many years it might take, I can have patience because I'm grateful that I'm driven on this path. I know that I'm guided to do this work, to impact other people's lives. And so gratitude has completely transformed my life in such a positive way. And from before, when I really didn't practice gratitude, to now, I experience a level of fulfillment in life. If you don't feel very fulfilled in life, I promise you, start practicing gratitude and you will experience more fulfillment in your life. So let's get down to those strategies real quick to wrap up this episode. The biggest thing that I would have to say is, if you've never written down what you're grateful for, start today. Just pull out a piece of paper, write down 3 things you're grateful for. And if you can't find 3 things you're grateful for, keep looking. And they don't have to be big things. They don't have to be things in the now. They can be things in the past, but find 3 things. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for you guys for listening to this podcast. I'm grateful that, I've got a healthy body. I'm grateful that I've got a great job. I'm grateful for whatever you are grateful for. Write it down. Maybe you're grateful that someone smiled to you. Maybe you're grateful that you woke up on the right side of the bed today. It can be something as small as that. Sometimes I'm grateful that I've got these amazing pair of shoes and I'm like, wow, these are really comfortable. I'm super grateful for it. I know that's silly, but just write it down. Write down one thing that's small. Write down one thing that's big. The third one, pick whatever you want. Now, how often should you do this? Well, if you've never practiced gratitude, it's really hard at first, but the more you do it, the better it gets. So I really recommend waking up in the morning and starting your day off right. Write down 3 things right there. Do some meditation if you want. There's a great app called Headspace. You can check that out. Or you can just sit there, listen to some music. For me, honestly, I meditate while I'm at the gym, working out. That's kind of my meditation. Sometimes while I'm driving, I'm listening to a podcast or, some music, and that gets me in the zone and I get to thinking and I think about different things that I appreciate in life. I sit there and I'm like, wow, I appreciate this car that I get to drive. I appreciate the fact that I get to go to work today and make an impact on people's lives. So practicing that. And then at the end of the day, write down 3 things that happen in that day that you are grateful for. What this does is it primes our minds to focus on what's good in life. It shifts our focus to find the good things, to find things that we can be grateful for. I guarantee the more you practice, the easier it gets. Another tip that I started doing, and I don't do it every Thursday, but our cell phones have become this gigantic library of old photos, of memories. And literally, if you're like me and you take a lot of photos on your cell phone, I have thousands of photos. And there's so many good ones on there. And now, because the phones hold so much memory, it goes back years and then backs up to the cloud. So it goes back even further. And so on Thursdays, I like to do a little post, and you can do this, and I just do hashtag Thankful Thursday, hashtag Practice Gratitude, and if you want to hashtag Unleash Success, go ahead, do that as well. But basically, post a memory, scroll through your photos, look at something. What this does is it reinforces gratitude in our brain. It reminds us of all the good memories, and then post about it and say something, share it with your friends. Show how amazing, this memory was for you, and share with other people so that they can enjoy it too, so you can spread positivity. I mean, these things are super simple and super easy. And the last thing I want to leave you with as far as a strategy is sometimes it's hard to get into a state of gratitude. So I like to think about 3 things that you're grateful for, but also remember maybe a happy memory is one thing. And then the second thing is breathing. People forget how powerful the breath is. So I like to do a 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, 4 seconds out. 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, 4 seconds out. 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, 4 seconds out. And that breathing pattern can actually slow down our heart rate. It can kind of center us. It can calm us. And sometimes people will say you want to do, 4 seconds out, 4 second hold, 4 seconds in, 4 second hold, 4 seconds out, and repeat. But sometimes, it's a little bit tough sometimes when I'm breathing early in the morning. But I do that, and it actually changes the way I feel, changes the biochemistry in my brain to be more relaxed, to be more centered, to be more focused. So I encourage you to try a few of these tips. And if you like, post on Thursdays, Thankful Thursdays. It's just something that we do. We're posting on social media all the time these days. And this is an easy way to practice gratitude, to condition and train your mind to look for things to be grateful for. Create a journal. Just write down 3 things you're grateful for every morning. And then at the end of the day, write down 3 things that you're grateful for that happen in the day. Big or small, doesn't matter. And realize that, you are so lucky to be living right now in this day and age. We are literally living in the best time in the world. Technology has made it easier to learn a new skill, to learn anything online for free. With technology becoming so cheap now, people can literally transform their lives as fast as a couple months sometimes. I mean, there's all these success stories out there. And so I am incredibly grateful to be living in this time where we can learn anything, where we can do anything, where we have the opportunity to become anybody we want to be, to do anything and achieve anything we want to be. And so I just encourage you to be grateful for that on your journey, to stop, smell the roses, and enjoy it. Until next time, guys, unleash success in you.
If you enjoyed the show and learned something of value, the one ask that I have is please go subscribe, whether you're on iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube. And if you leave us a 5-star rating and review, that absolutely helps us get our message out there. Each week, I'm going to continue to interview amazing people, and we're going to break down their tools and strategies to help get you real results. Feel free to visit the website, unleashsuccess.com, and subscribe to our newsletter so you get updates each week. And remember, knowing is not enough. Knowledge alone is not power. Action is. Because action is the only way you're going to get the results you want in life and truly live the life of your dreams. So take some action, subscribe to the podcast today, and get ready to unleash success in you.